Earlier this week, whilst I was minding my own business, making videos, playing Xbox, and doing your typical bullshit as a content creator, when I happened to notice that my good friend Noah uploaded their first video of 2023. The video turned out to be of him attempting a specific challenge where you have to kill the Rainbow Guardian only with the power of abilities. He managed to complete it for the plant side, but was unable to do it successfully for the zombies. So, thinking it would be a fun idea, he stated the following.
I actually have a challenge for all of you guys. Considering that I beat this on the plant side, I'm going to be giving away 2 gift cards to 2 people who complete this challenge on normal difficulty as a zombie. The requirements are as follows. You have to be a zombie, you have to beat this on normal difficulty, only abilities. You're allowed to use the mech, however you're not allowed to use his primary since he has abilities already, so it's like, an extra character. You have to title the video NoahStarves King Gnomus Challenge, and you have a week to do it.
I happened to see this and thought to myself that it would be a pretty fun challenge to attempt, but I decided to put my own little spin on it. Since after all, what's the point in doing someone else's challenge if you don't add your own flavor to it? Instead of trying to beat the Rainbow Guardian as efficiently as possible with abilities, let's do it with an ability that is not efficient at killing. Yes, Goop. But however, Goop has a relatively fast cooldown and does additional damage over time, so we need something slower, something less efficient, less robust, but still requires us to be precise. Yes, perfect. I shall attempt Noah's challenge but with my spin, in attempting to defeat this rainbow grandpa looking ass, using only the power of super sticky goop. Let's get started. First, we must assess our rule set and work our way up from there so that we can establish what potentially could work and what falls flat like a flaccid dick. Firstly, our main rule, no using our primary weapon at all. This is going to be quite the handicap, especially if we plan on using a class where 99% of their damage comes from their primary. So from this information alone, relying on super sticky goop to damage the Guardian is not only going to be extremely inefficient, which is what we're looking for, but it will be very time consuming. So now with our primary method of attack established, that is 1/3 of the argument complete. The second third is a bit more difficult in finding out which chomper would be the best to use. Since this challenge is based solely around the abilities, it means we need a variant that has a passive ability that is not activated under any specific requirements. Armor has a passive health increase, which whilst useful, he is simply too slow to function for this challenge. And Hot Rod may have immense speed, which can be useful in getting away. He is simply far too fragile with only 125 health. So out of all our remaining options, Chomp Thing is our best bet here, thanks to his insane health regeneration. And when we grant him more health and both types of health regeneration upgrades, we will be able to achieve insanely fast regeneration, which for this challenge will essentially be critical to our survival. Whilst heal flowers are allowed, we will only be using them when absolutely necessary. So by having Chomp Thing, we essentially are being pocketed at all times, so that will make things much easier for us. With 2/3 of the argument complete, we now come to the easy part for dealing with the excess number of gnomes. Since we have Chomp Thing as our candidate for this challenge by process of elimination, Spiky Spikeweed will be our go-to option, though either Spikeweed will work. Some would argue that Vampweed would help us in survival, but it doesn't solve the problem of getting rid of the gnomes, since if too many are constantly on our tail throughout the whole ordeal, then we will be killed, even with the immense health regeneration. So now, with all 3 pieces of our argument in place, it is time to tackle this old motherfucker who uses a hover vehicle, and our objective is simple: bully the floating gnome grandpa with this piece of sticky shit we found at a bootleg Morrison's. Let us get into the attempts. Attempt 1, for some context, was before I had perfected the strategy, hence why my dumbass had Vampweed equipped. At the time when I attempted this, I wasn't sure if this was even possible at all, especially given Sticky Goop's minimal as fuck damage output of only 10.2 per use, but I persisted anyway. This attempt shows a perfect example as to why the more offensive spikeweeds would be much more useful here, since later on in the run, I was practically swarmed with hordes of gnomes after me, like that one chick at high school with all the virgins. After she admits that she's single for the first time in years, the gnomes were coming in the masses and stopped at nothing to stop my sticky assault against their father, but I continued forward. However, it's moments like these where I realized that vampweed was not going to be a good option, since the amount of gnomes not only kept the harassment at a constant pace, but also forced me to direct attacks away from the old motherfucker, who was probably more interested in doing his taxes than fighting some dickhead challenging him with sticky goop. 10 minutes in, and the run was going surprisingly well. Damage against the Guardian was relatively slow, but it was piling on quite quickly. However, it's right here that I made a fatal mistake, burrowing right next to this exploding gnome, right as it detonated. This forced me out of burrow, on low health, and in front of many gnomes and the Rainbow Guardian, who seized the opportunity and attacked me with his beam. I tried my best to escape, but even with the best health regeneration in the game, I was killed mercilessly, and so, attempt 1 ended in tragic failure. And whilst only a mere 10 minutes worth of progress was lost, I knew that with how little I had managed to harm him, this was going to be quite the long journey. Attempt 2 ended a lot sooner than attempt 1, with only 3 minutes in length. This time I would have spikeweed equipped, which did help out in eliminating some more of the gnomes. However, this attempt would end with the same mistake as the first attempt, in trying to burrow next to an exploding gnome. As the old saying goes, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. The Guardian gave me a mocking gesture, thinking that there was no way that some idiot would try to kill him with one of the worst offensive abilities in the game. Whilst I was shaken and beaten, I was not going to give up so easily, and so I stepped into the ring once more for my third attempt. Attempt 3 was quite the immense struggle. The gnomes, the constant dodging, the many slip-ups, and the tons of close calls. The whole thing was stressful and chaotic to say the least, for I could not tell you how many laps I had to do around the whole thing. But eventually, after nearly 50 entire minutes and hundreds of goops later, it was done. The task that I thought was initially stupid, idiotic, and beyond fucking conception was now done. I had beaten the challenge in single-handedly one of the most inefficient ways ever. Nearly an entire fucking hour spent spitting on this potted piece of plastic looking ass shit. Nothing has brought such joy as landing that final hit and hearing that sweet ding in seeing the Rainbow Guardian fall. Obviously, some will claim complete and utter bullshit, protesting that I never actually did it. And to that I say, if you happen to be watching the live premiere of this video, then check out the link that is being posted in the chat right as we speak. Or, if you happen to be watching this after the premiere, check out the link in the description for the full near 50 fucking minute attempt that managed to bring the Rainbow Guardian down to its knees. I would like to thank NoahStarves for inspiring this absolute shitstorm of a challenge. And thanks for watching, joining me for this absurdly stupid challenge. And don't forget to subscribe for more shit like this. Have fun.